Wednesday morning, the biggest day of the week for Subway. Wednesday is Monday for Subway. Inventory day, paperwork day, Wiser day. 6:07 right now. Just heading into store number 2 to do the inventory over there. So this is something that I haven't delegated yet. Store number 1, the inventory has been delegated over there, and with good reason, because it's tedious, you have to be meticulous, and it takes a lot of time, and it can only be done within a 12-hour period between, well, less than that actually, probably 11 hours. It can only be done between 10 p.m. on Tuesday night and 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning. So what we do on this day is we literally count every single item in the store. Everything. There are some things that are more important in terms of getting the count right than others. Are cookie bags really going to make that big of a difference in our overall count towards the cost of goods each and every week? No. What about rotisserie chicken? Yep. So the proteins are always going to be the heavy hitters, and that's basically what we're doing today. Is we're trying to see where we are on our cost of goods. And somebody might say, and I still wonder this, well, you probably should be aiming for the smallest number possible, right? And to be honest, I'm not sure why the answer isn't yes. Because it's not. We have to aim between 27 and 31% for our cost of goods. Now, I might be getting into the weeds with this, and there might be a lot of people who don't give a flying F word about the cost of goods, but the point is, this meticulousness, this diligence, I think it transfers to our lives. And I think the overarching question is, have you taken inventory of your life? What is your cost of goods, so to speak? Have you taken your own temperature? Have you seen where you are right now on a weekly basis? What is my cost of goods? What are the big rocks that I need to make sure that we are on the money on each and every week? And then what are some of the things that really don't matter that much? What are the cookie bags in your life? Are they friends that don't serve you well? Are they texts that go that you think have to be read then and there? Is it all of these applications open at one time on your phone? Is it subscriptions that you're still paying for but don't use? Those things, those little $1.99, $4.99 subscriptions each and every month, they might but not be a huge contributing factor to your cost of goods each and every week when you take an inventory on yourself. But are they affecting you, serving you positively or negatively? Do you even need them? There's a function on our software that we use for when we take cost of goods, as far as it allows us to make the decision, do we want to include this on the inventory? And if it's something menial like an 8-ounce soup bowl, yeah, do we need to include that on our cost of goods? It's pretty menial. As opposed to, as I said before, rotisserie chicken or protein or cheeses. Those are big. Those are going to carry a lot of weight. Those are definitely going to affect our cost of goods in a big way. So for me, metaphorically speaking, when it comes to my personal cost of goods each and every week, as I take inventory on myself, which I do a lot while I'm taking inventory in the store, because you're just with yourself and your thoughts, and you can't help but try and see how this applies to your life when you're doing it. Definitely writing, definitely the role that I have at Subway. That's a pretty cool shot of the American flag right there. And my personal life with my wife, and watching our son be successful from afar, and doing things like I'm doing now, right now, putting out this video. It makes me feel better when I do those things. That's it. That contributes highly. That is the cost of me being a good person each and every week. I have to have those big heavy hitters. Is being on Instagram 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon, is that a high contributing factor to my cost of goods? No, not really. Not really. So I could easily dispense with that, and I know that I'm still operating within an optimal range for my own personal cost of goods each and every week when I take inventory on myself. And I think that's an easy way for us to self-sabotage, is A, by not taking our own personal inventory each and every week, but then B, not taking a look at the cost of goods, or the inventory, I should say, the WISR, the weekly inventory sales report. That's where I can see where everything actually lies. What amount of product was delivered? How much did we use? What is the difference? Is there stuff missing on there? So 100 pounds of rotisserie chicken was delivered. We used 100 pounds of it. Well, that's good. That means you're right on the money. You're using as much product as you're buying. That's good. But if I'm over, well, then did we overportion? Did some just walk out the door? Did we give away a free sandwich? Did we have to void a sandwich? Are we not using proper sandwich formula? Are we? That's kind of being redundant. I said overportioning before, but. And so, thinking out loud here, because I don't know all the answers, I'm kind of thinking this through here as I go with you. Are we A, taking the time to take an inventory on ourselves, and then B, are we zooming out and looking at our own personal WISR, so to speak, in determining, okay, how much time was spent here? How much time was spent here? How much time was spent here? Is this serving me? Are we overindulging in certain areas of our life, i.e. social media? Are we not giving enough time and energy and effort to the things that really matter, or are we just not paying attention to them at all, or are we not being as vigilant as we should in certain areas? If we are short 5-10 pounds of rotisserie chicken when I print out the WISR today, that's a problem. That means we either have to be much better at the count itself, me personally, or we have to, in my staff, we have to make sure that we're portioning correctly. We have to make sure that things aren't just walking out the door. We have to remain vigilant. And so when it comes to those big rocks in your own personal cost of goods, when you take an inventory on yourself, your gift, God, your family, your business, are you being vigilant in those areas? So then you can, when you take a look at it at the end of the week, oh, okay, yes, I can see that we're on the right path here. Now, what's a KPI or a metric for that? I don't know. I think you'd have to determine that yourself, because I think everybody's different. For me, I used to self-sabotage, and I think we can do this when we take inventory on ourselves, is, well, if I'm not writing every day, I'm a failure. And some people, incredibly successful people at that, like a Steven Pressfield, would say, okay, well, if you're not writing every day, then you're not a pro. And he has every right to say that. I mean, the dude wrote The Legend of Bagger Vance, for God's sake. But I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think we can develop these tyrannical presuppositions about ourselves. And it's never good to be your own tyrant, in my experience. So I think that's a form of self-sabotage. So I say that to say, hey, if I'm writing at least 5 days out of the week, that's good. I think I'm more than capable, despite how busy I am, to write 5 days a week. I'm not writing this morning, I'm doing this. And I'm not freaking out about it. Old Hunter would have freaked out about it. Would have sat down and written for an hour and then made myself really stressed out because I would have backed up. I would have pushed off doing what I'm about to do right now with the counts, and then everything else would have just sort of had a domino effect in terms of my stress and things barely getting done, if at all. So I guess when you take inventory of yourself, I know I'm saying that a lot, and I apologize, I'm just trying to drive the point home. You gotta have a discerning eye with it, because it is a dichotomy. And then once you get to a point where I'm trying to relate this back to delegating. Once you get to a point where, hey, some or a lot of these things I don't even need to do. They don't even require my time, my energy, my effort. I can go on to a bigger thing, and I can focus on the things that really matter, i.e. the proteins. What are the proteins in your life when it comes to your own inventory every week? So when you saw the American flag in my window, store number 1 was directly to my left. I was at a stoplight, and I saw my opener. Janine is her name. She's there right now at 20 after 6 doing the counts at that store. She's taking inventory at that store, and she's great at it, and great. So now I know that is getting done. That doesn't require my attention, because Lord knows we can take on too much, and taking on too much responsibility is a form of self-sabotage. And so with that being delegated now to Janine, I can focus on store number 2's counts, which in the coming weeks, sooner rather than later, I will delegate this store as well, so I can focus on the bigger things, the proteins, and my own personal cost of goods each and every week. So I don't know if there's a template out there. I don't know if there needs to be one in terms of what a personal inventory looks like. But I think to not do it is self-sabotage, and I think to not take a closer look at what your own personal inventory looks like each and every week is most definitely self-sabotage. And I think it's something that we all can benefit from, because I know I do.